Honourable Member for Haliburton, Kawartha Lakes, Brock.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I would like to thank the Honourable Member from Milton for leading Canada's official opposition on this file as our finance critic. I can say without hesitation that this bill, as it stands now, C2, will have a significant effect on the lives of Canadians. While the Liberal members opposite would argue that this bill would benefit Canadians by lessening the taxes on the middle class and increasing taxes on the wealthy Canadians, this bill will in fact hurt Canadians more than it will help. Now, Mr. Speaker, do not misunderstand me. As a Conservative, I am very much in support of keeping Canadians' hard-earned dollars in their pockets. Our Conservative government endeavoured to do just that. They let Canadians keep more of their hard-earned money. We have a proud legacy of tax fairness and cutting taxes. While in office, our Conservative government reduced taxes more than 140 times. We did so through targeted measures that were responsible and consistent. But, Mr. Speaker, there is a significant difference. This bill will end up costing $8.9 billion over the next 6 years. But do not just take my word for it. In the Parliamentary Budget Officer's report, the fiscal and distributional impact of changes to the federal personal income tax regime says the exact same thing. They made it clear that this amendment will lower taxes for a significant number of Canadians and will increase it for just 1.5% of the population, which will result in a cost of $8.9 billion to Canadians over 6 years. The PBO estimates that this amendment will cost $400 million this year and $1.7 billion in the subsequent years. Since this government inherited a $400 million surplus, they have squandered the surplus already. And I hear jokes already, but it's in the PBO report. And that happened in only 4 short months. Now, how can this government claim that it is a good idea to commit more money to programs and tax breaks when it is not fiscally responsible to do so? Mr. Speaker, we all know that eventually the money does run out. There is only one taxpayer. And I'm interested to know what the Liberals have planned at that point. Will they increase taxes on Canadians? Or will they cut service levels? Maybe cut some programs altogether. Perhaps they could leave this mess for our next generation to deal with. But I tell you, the next time I speak with my students in my riding, whether it be from Lindsay, Cannington, Haliburton, or Millbrook, I guess I should warn them to start saving now, since they will not only be paying their bills, but ours as well. Many of my colleagues have gone through the amendments in this Act thoroughly, so I will not rehash all of them, except to say that an extra $6.34 a week for those individuals who qualify is not enough income to grow this economy. Nor does throwing money at the middle class stimulate growth and innovation. I'm suggesting this government should be less worried about the income tax rate and focusing more on creating jobs so more people will be paying in. This modification to the income tax rate hardly qualifies as significant tax release for Canadians and comes with a much larger price tag. The Liberals promised their tax plan would be revenue neutral, and it is not. This is yet another example of Liberal broken promises. A tax hike for the wealthy, they say. The new Liberal plan raises taxes on higher income earners, those who traditionally create jobs and grow our overall economy. By increasing taxes on these job creators, we are discouraging success while doing nothing for those making less than $45,000 a year, and many in my riding are in that category. Mr. Speaker, let me touch now on how the changes to the tax-free savings accounts, or TFSAs, come into play. Tax-free savings accounts allow Canadians to set money aside in eligible investments and watch them grow tax-free. While meeting with my constituents, many of them spoke to me about the value of their tax-free savings account. Whether it was used for saving for a child's tuition fees, a home renovation, opening a small business, or saving for a family vacation, all of these constituents were able to use their tax-free savings account to save their money, and their savings will in turn stimulate the economy. Whether it's paying costs associated with university or college, paying a contractor for home renovations, or buying supplies to open up a business. In my riding, the towns and communities are mainly driven by not only agriculture, but also tourism. Places like Sir Sam's Ski Hill near Eagle Lake, Happy Days houseboat rentals in Bobcaygeon, or even Emily Provincial Park near Omimi. These and many other small businesses across my ridings and across the country could benefit from an increase in tourism. Giving Canadians a mechanism in which to save money can and will stimulate the economy. I would be remiss not to mention that this bill still leaves $5,500 in contribution room, but why put such a low cap on a program that not only helps Canadians and their families, but also benefits the wider community? The members opposite have argued that TFSAs only benefit the wealthy, but, Mr. Speaker, we all know this is not true. The majority of tax-free savings accounts belong to low and middle income earners. In fact, 2/3 of tax-free savings accounts are held by people with incomes less than $60,000. Why does this government, why is it trying to limit Canadians' choice on how they choose to save their money? Canadians are taking a significant amount of debt lately, and instead of trying to help, the government is taking away one of those methods in which they can save. Bill C-2 will increase the national debt, penalize those who have worked hard and prospered, while also limiting the amount Canadians can save while doing nothing for those earning less than $45,000 a year. Mr. Speaker, this government inherited a $400 million surplus, and we, as the official opposition, will continue to protect Canadians' hard-earned money from the high-tax, high-spend agenda of the government. We all know you can't spend your way to growth, and of course you can't tax your way to prosperity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I look forward to the questions from my colleagues.